Good morning. If you will please be seated. Good morning and welcome to the dedication, ribbon cutting ceremony, and official naming of the Performing Arts Center at Don Tyson School of Innovation. Just take a moment and look around this amazing facility. The stage, the walls, the lighting. Imagine what will take place throughout the years to come as talented, creative students perform, showcase their talents, seek inspiration, and make their dreams come true. I want to take a moment to recognize and thank the visionaries who supported the process of planning and building this state-of-the-art facility. Dr. Jared Cleveland, Superintendent of Springdale Public Schools, the Springdale School Board, Ms. Michelle Cook, Mr. Clinton Bell, Ms. Debbie Creek, Mr. Nick Emerson, Mr. Randy Hutchinson, Mr. Kevin Owenby, and Mr. Eddie Ramos. Would you please stand? Springdale School Board. I would also like to recognize the Springdale School District Administrative Team. Would you please stand at this time? I would like for former Superintendent of Springdale Public Schools, Dr. Jim Rollins, to stand for recognition. Thank you, Dr. Rollins. I would like to recognize former principals of Don Tyson School of Innovation, Dr. Joe Rollins and Ms. Shannon Tischer. Would you stand? Ms. Stephanie Blevins from the Governor's Office is here with us today. Thank you for being here. I'm very blessed to work with an amazing administrators across this district and other staff, including fine arts staff who are here today. So if you are from another building who came to support us today, if you would stand, I want to thank you for your support today, but every day. Last but not least, I want to recognize my administrative team here at Don Tyson School of Innovation. They are here somewhere. Mr. Tom Doppy, Miss Amy Harrison, Dr. Shay Hopper, Miss Chelsea Perry, and Mr. Aurelian Sennett. They are truly my dream team, and I couldn't do what we do at this school without them. It has truly been a joy getting to know Pat Ellison through planning this event today. Just through the planning and hearing from Mr. Donnell, who has been such a great support for us, and the interviews that our students have done to create a video that you will see later. It truly just has been amazing to see who she was and how she has influenced the lives of so many in our district, but across the state. And many of those people are here today, so thank you for being here. I would like to ask members of the Pat Ellison family to stand at this time. So if you are a member of Miss Ellison's family. So it is my pleasure to welcome you all for the very first time to the Pat Ellison Performing Arts Center at Don Tyson School of Innovation. At this time, I would like to welcome officers of the Don Tyson School of Innovation's FFA chapter who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing for the National Star-Spangled Banner.
Hello, I'm Lauren Milam. Uh, Hello, I'm Lauren Milam, and it's an honor to be performing for you today. My mom was a student of Miss Ellison and remembers her for being a great leader who was devoted to her students and her band program. The DTSOI choir students are excited to sing the alma mater for the dedication of the Pat Ellison Performing Arts Center. The DTSOI alma mater was written by former student Allison Wolf and arranged by Brady Massey and Mrs. Cindy Key.
Please be seated. I want to let you know today's dedication ceremony is being live streamed throughout our school, so our students are in all parts of our building watching the ceremony today. At this time, I would like to introduce our superintendent, Dr. Jared Cleveland.
Thank you. I can't produce great music, but I sure recognize when it happens, and that was outstanding. Weren't they? They just are, wow, amazing talent in Springdale, not just in the School of Innovation here, but in HAR-BER, in Springdale High, in Archer, and every school in our great district. I want to welcome you. This is a great opportunity to be in front of you today, and I know that each of you are here for a lot of different reasons, but mainly because you love Springdale School District, you love Pat Ellison, and then you love supporting education in all facets. It's outstanding. Ms. Boards, recognize the board. Dr. Rollins used to always say begins and ends with the school board, and it does. No more is that recognizable in the country than in Springdale, Arkansas. So thank the board for being here. There are other leaders around that may or may not be in the room. Our mayor, our city council have done excellent work to help support the efforts that we've all gone through in order to create this wonderful facility. Don't know if you know the history, but we started many years ago. Tom Kimbrell, Tony Wood, and the governor at the time, along with the legislature, allowed opportunities for schools of innovation to begin. No one knew what that meant. Dr. Rollins, out on his tractor, feeding cows, he had an idea. You're sitting in that idea today. And with his team, with the school board at the time, and the school board that's managed to be here today, and with the great efforts of an architectural firm that's outstanding, WD&D, and Brad Chilcote and his team, Patrick Tenney of Baldwin Shell and his team. If those folks are here, please stand. Your work is fantastic. We just want to recognize you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Other leaders at the time that have now retired, I saw Dr. Marcia Jones here, and what an outstanding talent, educational leader to learn from she is, and she has a name on a PAC at HAR-BER, and you know, really that's not enough, Dr. Jones. It's just not enough. You're an outstanding leader. Miss Kathy McFetridge, who sits on on the state school board, a leader for a long time with Dr. Rollins and the former board. Great people that come together for a united cause, and that is to educate our children, not just at a minimum, but whatever the maximum is, that bar of excellence, to raise it, and they've done that. So we're appreciative of all their work over time, and you can see that they laid the foundations, and today we have an opportunity to set in a classroom. This is a classroom. Our children, our students can use this facility, not just perform here as a display, but to learn here. Everything around this Performing Arts Center was to help teach and learn and maximize potential. That's what this place is. I know Pat Ellison, I know that she set the bar. I was with Steve Womack over the weekend, and Steve Womack is our congressman, and he told just a quick story. I know I don't have much time, but this is important. He talked about how Alabama football is a standard that people strive to, but Nick Saban's desire and demand for excellence is above that. He mentioned Pat Ellison in Springdale School District as the standard, the bar that everyone wants to get to. And yet, Pat Ellison, Jim Rollins, this school board, this community, is the standard of excellence well beyond the bar. So I'm thankful to be here. I'm thankful to get to serve as your superintendent and follow and really man that I truly dearly love, follow in his footsteps. I had a guy tell me this weekend, "You have big shoes to fill." Yes, I know. I mean, I know that. I hear that everywhere. I appreciate it. So if anybody wants to tell me I have big shoes to fill, I got it. I know it. I'll do the best I can, Dr. Rollins, to honor you and all of those before. What a classroom. What an opportunity. And I'm confident that Miss Ellison, although I didn't get to meet her but just a couple of times, I'm confident she would be pleased. I want to introduce Dr. Hancock. Dr. Hancock is the nephew of Pat Ellison and the director of bands at the University of Central Arkansas. And I'd like to invite him to the podium to share his thoughts and his wisdom.
Thank you all, and good morning. You know, you talk about big shoes to fill. I think a lot of the people sitting in this hall today understand that quite a lot because they've had to take on the shoes that Pat Ellison has laid out for them and find a way to grow into that and try to surpass it, and I know I feel that regularly. So it is just a pleasure to be here today. This is a beautiful facility. And for the family to be able to be here and to have had some level of ability to help in the naming of this was a tremendous honor. Also with me today is Pat Ellison's younger sister, Joan Ellison, so she's right down in the front, and my parents, Barbara Ellison, her older sister, and my father, Edward, were not able to make it this morning just because of they're getting older. A 3-hour drive this early in the morning was tough, and but they are excited and equally proud of this facility and what it's going to stand for. To understand Aunt Pat, and I know everybody here that's sitting kind of up front knows this, but the people in the back, maybe you don't quite so know it, so bear with me. Everybody knew her as Miss Ellison. I knew her as Aunt Pat. It was always hard for me to call her Miss Ellison in rehearsal, but I tried very hard. Aunt Pat was hesitant about leaving her name on any building. She was an incredibly private person. It's been offered many times to her throughout her life to have the opportunity to dedicate a building in her name or a location where her bands performed with tremendous excellence. And always, politely, she declined. So in order to understand the reason why we've agreed as the family to name this building in her honor, we need to go back a little bit in history. First, the importance of Pat Ellison is the musical and human legacy that she gave to her students. She taught music and art, which carries with it great discipline, openness, vulnerability, giving, celebration of all equal parts, and above all, an exploration of humanity. Through this, she had a profound impact on her students at all ability levels. Many of her students have gone on to be leaders in their fields at the local, state, national, and international level. She loved all of her students. She saw the best possibilities in all of them and would do just about anything to see them succeed. This drive for her students' achievements, came from her own history. When she was a young girl, she was a military brat, the daughter of a colonel. The family moved stations many times, especially during her early years. Some of those places, obviously she was born in Arkansas, but they moved to France, Japan, California, and Washington State. And because of that, somehow in that timeline, she did not learn to read at the appropriate age. She slipped through the cracks, but was able to fake reading well enough that she could pass by. And that slipping through created some teachers to form opinions about her intelligence level, and it was not high. But one teacher took the time to figure out what the real issue was, and that teacher taught her how to read. And pretty soon, young Pat was excelling in fields and caught up rather quickly with her education. That teacher gave Pat Ellison the spark. That was the ability to know the power and the true meaning of a teacher and of the power of learning. Pat Ellison went on to graduate at the top of her class from Arkansas Tech University. And later, she received her master's in music education from the University of Northern Colorado. She brought those skills, she chose to bring those skills, and she was offered to bring those skills to a chicken town, when she could have gone many places and chosen to do many things at a collegiate level. She chose to stay here in Springdale, a town that gave her a chance. And look what she turned it into. In 1990, she and her band, her students and her parents, laid the foundation for building the first performing arts center at a high school in the state of Arkansas. Now today you look across the state and you see many of these. There's a beautiful one in Russellville and in Alma. There are beautiful ones all across the state, Conway and elsewhere. It started with Pat Ellison. It started with a village of people who were passionate about what they were being taught, and it came from supportive administration. And because of that single thing, we have 3 performing arts centers in Springdale. And I don't want to overstate the importance of this. Without Pat Ellison, there would not be one. From that moment, the band achieved an international fame. We performed at the Midwest Clinic in 1993, an international clinic where the best bands in the country perform. And since that time, 2 more bands in this state have gone to be premier ensembles at that institution, and both are from Springdale. The reason that we are happy that this center will carry her name, that this performance hall will carry her name, is not because it's the newest or it's the most state-of-the-art. It is because of this school and what it aspires to do are so closely aligned to my aunt's vision of what education can do. Investing time and dedicated energy into students' needs. That all primary and secondary education should be public and free. And that all are welcome to learn in this community. My challenge to the students and the teachers, the administrators in this community today, and the ones who will follow you, strive to work your hardest. Give of yourselves to a bigger purpose. Work to uphold the musical legacy that Pat Ellison laid the groundwork for, and build traditions of excellence rooted in supporting every student to achieve their very best. If you do, and I know you will certainly live up to the name on the building. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Tammy Georges, and I'm the Fine Arts Secretary at DTSOI. Our music department staff consists of Lori Hanlon and Cindy Key, choral directors, Justin Hazard, Zach Brown, John Vinzant, and Jeff Key, band directors. DTSOI is grateful to our music staff and our adjunct staff members for their help in preparing for this event today. Following this ceremony, our band and choir students would love to give you a tour of our school. Please meet on stage if you would like a tour. The final performance for the dedication of the Pat Ellison Performing Arts Center will be the premiere performance for this group. For the first year ever, the 165-member high school band at DTSOI is separated into audition groups, the symphonic and concert bands. It is fitting that the first ever performance of the symphonic band is for this dedication ceremony today. Pat Ellison believed in the importance of audition groups and advocated for it within band programs she served. Ladies and gentlemen, consisting of 8 12th graders, 17 11th graders, 21 10th graders, 22 9th graders, and 1 7th grader. The Don Tyson School of Innovation Symphonic Band, under the direction of Jeff Key, performing Fanfare for a New Generation by Dennis Eveland.
Good morning. My name is Kayla Henderson, and I am a member of the DTSOI Concert Choir and Symphonic Band. Miss Pat Ellison had a tremendous impact on the music program in Springdale Public Schools. For Miss Ellison, it was all about her students. To this day, her former students quote her motto, "It's we, not me." She encouraged each student to excel personally and musically. Awards and trophies were not the goal. Achieving one's best and being a good citizen came first. Her legacy lives on in thousands of students. We ask that you remain seated as we watch both the commemorative video and ribbon cutting ceremony on the screen above.
Having a performing arts center is the fact that it's especially designed for those performing arts. There comes along a person once in a lifetime that really has the effect that Miss Ellison had on people and children.
I've never known anyone who could pull kids in and make them believe, regardless of what it was, in what they were doing because of her.
I mean, I wanted to be Miss Ellison. She was my idol. I mean, like that's what I wanted to happen. I wanted to hear like she heard. I wanted to motivate like she motivated. I wanted to, you know, inspire like she inspired.
That doesn't just come from the kids. They had a leader that taught them how to do that and expected that of them, and they wanted to be that way. It started with, that was a priority of hers at Springdale High School. But they didn't start out playing in a performing arts center either. But it got built to that, and those kids have it. Then HAR-BER gets their performing arts center. And now Tyson has one that's named in honor of the matriarch of all those music programs.
I think she would really love it, you know. Now, you have to know that Pat Ellison's a very humble lady. It was more about for the students than it was for herself.
As I said, she attained so many honors, but it was never about her. It was always about Springdale Public Schools and the kids in that program.
The namesake of Pat Ellison will continue her legacy of excellence in music and art and everything that we do. She is a pervasive force in this community and will be for a lifetime.
We didn't know what the rest of the state was doing. You know, we were just doing our thing. We were getting a little bit better every day. And the only reason we were doing it was for the fun of getting a little bit better every day and seeing what we could do. We weren't competing against other bands. It's like watching these time-delayed photography of flowers blooming. I miss watching that growth, and I miss my growth because of them.